LEGO Star Wars 2 for the Nintendo DS. One of the most interesting LEGO games ever made. Definitely not Oh. Yeah. Okay, so it's definitely not the greatest LEGO game ever, but I like it. It was my introduction to Star Wars and my very first LEGO game, even though it makes you feel like you've taken a drug. So in this review, we're gonna figure out just how bad they fucked up. Okay, so Chapter 1 starts off with a weird cutscene, but other than that, the gameplay is pretty good in Chapter 1. It's responsive, it's not too buggy, and the frame rate's pretty good, other than some of the combat gets pretty laggy, but other than that, it's pretty good. The cutscenes aren't terrible, but they definitely exist, but as we'll definitely learn in this review, it only goes downhill from here. You'll really start to notice in Chapter 2 some of that really bad lag that you're going to notice throughout the entire game. But I will say, I do like that they got one fact right. Chapter 4 begins with a strange cutscene, but other than that, Chapter 4 and Chapter 5 play pretty well. I mean, it's not too bad. Chapter 5, though, ends with probably one of the worst boss battles I've ever seen in the game, only topped by probably the boss battle at the end of this video, but we'll get to that later. So the cutscenes for Chapter 5 sometimes load, but most of the time they don't. Other than that, it's a very basic vehicle level, as you'll notice with all the vehicle levels in this game. They're very basic. All you really do is go down a trench and fight Vader's TIE fighter, and that's it. And then I guess the developers tried to be funny and add this weird toilet flushing sound whenever you get to the exhaust port cutscene, but I'm sorry, it's not. Hoth, while still not being great, is probably the best vehicle level in the game. It's kind of weird though, it has like this weird cave system, and I don't know, it's just weird all around. The ending's also weird. I don't know, it's fine I guess. I think now would be a great time to mention the radar that's available for you to use, even though I don't find it really useful. It just shows you if there's enemies around you, really. That's all it really does. Chapter 2 starts off with a camera glitch that I'll get into later in this video. But this chapter is pretty straightforward. It's just trying to escape from Echo Base. Nothing really that special. You'll really start to notice the quality of the game really drop here. I mean, you really did start to notice it earlier, but it really starts to drop here. So Chapter 3 is just the asteroid field. I didn't like it in the console versions. I don't really like it here. I've never really liked the chapter really in any game I've played it in, but it is what it is. It's just a vehicle level where you shoot TIE fighters and avoid asteroids, really. But it does end with one of the strangest things I've ever seen in the game. Just watch. Chapter 4 felt very weird compared to all the levels, and I feel like this is where most of the levels will start feeling very off. Another problem this level had is that it was very laggy, especially during in combat, so you really start to feel that lag come in. So the Luke Vader fight starts with you making your way to the carbon freezing chamber, where you'll find this weird puzzle where you have to change the colors of whatever these objects are to unlock the doors. And to be honest with you, it took me a while to figure it out. If you use the Force on these objects, they turn green. But I forgot you needed to use R2 on those objects to turn them blue. And I had to restart the game once or twice because I completely forgot about that. They don't explain this to you, you kind of just gotta figure it out by playing the game. Which is kind of annoying, but it's okay. But after that, the Luke Vader fight's very straightforward. You fight him 3 times. You fight him in the carbon chamber, fight him where Vader throws objects at you in the movie, but you just fight him like normal there. Then you kind of go through the sequence where you just tumble down a bridge, I guess, fight him again, you get another cutscene, and then the chapter's over. So right off the bat in episode 6, you have to save Han from Carbonite in Jabba's palace, and boy, you really start to notice how little effort they put into this game. If the game doesn't just completely break, what you have to do is go to 2 what appears to be lamps on each side of whatever that is protecting Han, and jump into there. I can't remember if there's a way you're supposed to turn it off. It's not very obvious, but it works, and you can jump into it and save Han and move on to the Rancor fight, which is a whole nother clusterfuck. Okay, the Rancor fight is easily the worst boss battle I think I've ever seen. All you do is pull a lever 4 or 5 times to kill the Rancor, and they still manage to fuck that up with the shitty camera angle. It's just bad. Once we get to Chapter 2, there's nothing really going for this level. It's some weird platformer. I don't really know what they were going for here. It's really bad. You fight Boba Fett twice in this chapter, and they both just feel off. Like the first part of the level, you have to shoot him with a turret, and the second, you just chase him down and kill him. It's just bad. You also have to play as droids in this chapter, and it's just off, especially the part where you have to fly between these moving platforms that you can't even really see because the camera's in a dumb position, so it's just bad. What in the actual fuck was that? So the speeder bike chase is overly simple. There's nothing really to it. You can probably just hold down the attack button and just get through the level that way. There's nothing. It's way too simple. Oh my, where do I even start with this chapter? Well, for starters, it makes you do parkour on the Nintendo DS, so that's already a huge problem. The first part of this chapter makes you go rescue 2 Ewoks that are being held by scout troopers, I guess. The way you got from platform to platform in this chapter, I despised this as a kid. I thought this was the hardest thing ever, and it was super annoying. The second part of this chapter was a laggy mess. It took me a while to remember what you were even supposed to do, and it's just annoying. I hate every single bit about this chapter. It sucks. Whenever I played this as a kid, I didn't know this level even existed, so it was pretty interesting the first time I played it, and to be honest with you, I didn't think it was too bad, but it wasn't great either. It's literally just destroy the Death Star. That's really, you're just flying through the Death Star, and really there's not much else to it. I mean, it's not great, but it's interesting, I guess. Okay, so the final chapter of this game has you fighting the Emperor. It really is what it is. It's pretty much broken, but you fight him, you kill him, there's this weird lightning thing in the middle of the room that rotates. It's super annoying. The Emperor shocks you, but you can't. I guess the DS couldn't handle lightning bolts, so they only had this weird lightning effect around you. But other than that, you take off Vader's mask, and it turns out he's awfully green in the DS. I would also recommend playing as Vader, since this is the first and only time you get to play as him in this game, and he's really the only way you can actually kill the Emperor in the final part of that. So the end of Chapter 6 is just strange. I really don't know what that is. Just watch. What did I just witness? Well, now that the brunt of the game's out of the way, now we can get into this game's best and worst quality. It's bugs. And it would probably be best to start with the bug that you've been seeing most of probably through this video, and that's the game completely disappearing from existence. Now yes, I know I am on an emulator, but the emulator is not causing this, I swear. It does this on the actual DS, and it released this way. I don't know how you release a game that breaks like this. And it doesn't do this every playthrough. Sometimes you can play through a level and it'll be completely fine. Other times it just completely kills itself. And I recorded myself playing this game twice just to show you that these bugs are very inconsistent with this game. Like here, look at this. Now let's talk about the cameras, and boy, the cameras can be very, very broken at times. Like I've seen them just completely clip into objects or follow the character in some odd way that it shouldn't be, or just completely follow something else entirely. And these bugs have the same consistency problem that the other bugs do. It's strange, like watch. So in a nutshell, that is LEGO Star Wars 2 for the Nintendo DS. It's definitely a game. I believe every Star Wars fan, at least gaming Star Wars fan, should play this at least once. Probably only want to play it once. I still have my copy that I had as a kid, even though my DS broke a long time ago. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I've never made a review video before ever. This is the most production I've put into any video ever. So I hope y'all enjoyed. I knew I screwed up quite a bit in this video, but hope y'all enjoyed. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you want more content like it, please subscribe. Nostalgic 98 out.